It is the edge of the continent, the end of the frontier. A place where the land meets the sea in a dramatic collision of gold and blue. Welcome to California. This is not just a state, it is a dreamscape. From the ancient, misty forests of the north to the sun-baked deserts of the south, the diversity here is staggering. It is a land of giants, of glamour, and of grit. We are about to embark on a journey down the Pacific Coast Highway and beyond. We will stand beneath the tallest trees on Earth, walk the hottest sands in the hemisphere, and watch the sunset turn the ocean into liquid fire. It has an economy larger than most countries and a landscape that rivals the entire world. So, buckle up. The Golden State is calling. We begin in the Cathedral of the Wild, Yosemite National Park. The scale here, it defies logic. You stand in the valley, and the granite walls rise 3,000 feet straight up. El Capitan, Half Dome. They are monoliths that make you feel impossibly small. The air is crisp, smelling of pine resin and damp earth. I remember waking up here at dawn. The valley was silent, except for the distant roar of Yosemite Falls. The light hits the granite peaks first, turning the cold gray stone into burning gold, while the valley floor is still in shadow. It is a place of violent geology, carved by glaciers, yet it feels incredibly peaceful. Whether you are watching the climbers cling to the sheer face of El Cap, or simply sitting by the river, Yosemite changes you. It is nature at its most majestic. Drive south. Ascend into the clouds. Sequoia and Kings Canyon National Parks. Here, nature builds skyscrapers. These forests are ancient. Walking beneath the giant sequoias, the silence is heavy. The light filters through branches that are centuries old, dappling the forest floor. General Sherman, the largest living thing on Earth. To stand at its base is a humbling experience. You realize this tree was growing before the Roman Empire fell. It is a living witness to history. The air is thin and cool. The bark is soft and fibrous to the touch. In the land of giants, time seems to stand still. Travel north now, to the coast, to the mist. Redwood National and State Parks. If the sequoias are the fortress, the redwoods are the cathedral spires. These are the tallest trees on the planet. They pierce the fog, drinking the moisture right from the air. While sequoias are massive in girth, redwoods are elegant, slender, and reach heights that seem impossible. Walking through Fern Canyon, it feels prehistoric. Walls of green ferns rise 50 feet on either side of you. The air is wet and heavy. It smells of deep, rich soil and ocean salt. You half expect a dinosaur to step out from the shadows. In fact, this is where they filmed parts of Jurassic Park. I recall driving the Avenue of the Giants. You pull the car over, turn off the engine, and just listen. The silence is profound. It is a world of green and gray, a vertical landscape that stretches up and up until it touches the sky. Cross the border of the sky. Lake Tahoe. It shouldn't exist. A lake this large, this high up in the mountains, and this incredibly blue. Mark Twain called it the fairest picture the whole earth affords. He wasn't wrong. The water is so clear it gives you vertigo. You look down, and you can see the massive granite boulders resting on the bottom, perfectly preserved in the cold depth. I remember paddling out here at sunrise. The surface was glass. The only sound was the drip of the paddle. The air up here, at 6,000 feet, it bites a little. it is pure. Whether it is the winter snow turning the shores white or the summer sun baking the granite, Tahoe is the jewel of the Sierra. It is a place where the mountains seem to admire their own reflection. From the alpine heights, we descend to the absolute bottom, Death Valley National Park. This is a land of extremes, the hottest, the driest, the lowest point in North America. It feels alien. The silence here is aggressive. The heat wraps around you like a heavy blanket. I stood at Badwater Basin, 282 feet below sea level. The ground is a blinding white crust of salt. It crunches under your boots like snow, but the air burns. But it is not just dead space. At sunset, the hills of Artist's Palette explode in colors, greens, purples, and pinks, painted by volcanic minerals. It is a beautiful, dangerous wasteland, a reminder of how harsh and how spectacular the earth can be. Return to the edge. Big Sur. This is the drive of a lifetime. Highway 1. It ribbons along the jagged coastline, a fragile line of asphalt suspended between the Santa Lucia Mountains and the wild Pacific. The views here are vertigo-inducing. The cliffs drop sheer into the churning water. The fog rolls in like a living thing, wrapping around the redwood trees that grow right to the water's edge. I drove this stretch with the windows down. The smell of salt spray and eucalyptus is intoxicating. You take a corner and suddenly the ocean opens up, endless, violent, and beautiful. It is raw nature, unforgiving, yet irresistibly magnetic. Just north of the wild cliffs, the ocean calms. Monterey Bay. They call this the Serengeti of the sea. And looking out at the water, you understand why. The bay is alive. Beneath the surface, massive forests of giant kelp sway in the current, creating a sanctuary for seals, whales, and the most charming locals of all, the sea otters. On land, the history is thick. Cannery Row. Once a gritty industrial strip famous for sardine packing and John Steinbeck novels, it is now the soul of the coast. The rusted corrugated metal meets the salt air. I stood on the pier as the fog rolled in. You can hear the rhythmic barking of sea lions echoing off the pylons. The smell is distinct, a mix of old wood, salt water, and clam chowder drifting from the restaurants. It is a place where the ghosts of industry have made peace with the wild ocean. It feels timeless, literary, and deeply Californian. Travel further north. Beyond the city. Into the mist. Point Reyes National Seashore. It feels like the edge of the world. This triangular peninsula punches 10 miles out into the Pacific, catching the full force of the ocean's fury. It is the windiest place on the Pacific coast, and often the foggiest. Before you even reach the coast, you pass through the Cypress Tree Tunnel. The light filters through the tangled branches in shafts, creating a scene that feels like it belongs in a fantasy novel. But the real drama is at the stairs. I remember walking down those 300 steps to the lighthouse. The wind howls so loud you have to shout to be heard. The waves crash against the rocks hundreds of feet below with a violence that shakes the ground. And yet, turn around, and the headlands are peaceful. Herds of Thule elk graze silently in the mist. It is a place of raw power and quiet beauty, a moody, atmospheric masterpiece painted in gray and green. Head south. The fog lifts. The light turns golden. Santa Barbara. They call it the American Riviera. It is a place where the mountains embrace the sea. The architecture here is distinct: white stucco walls, red clay tiles, and blooming bougainvillea spilling over every gate. It feels less like the US and more like Spain. The Queen of the Missions. Standing in front of Mission Santa Barbara, you feel the centuries. Founded in 1786, it anchors the city's soul. The gardens are quiet, filled with the scent of roses and ancient dust. The pace here is different. It is unhurried. I walked State Street as the sun went down. The air is warm and smells of jasmine and salt. It is sophisticated, yet completely relaxed. A golden paradise between the peaks and the Pacific. Continue down the coast to the most famous stretch of sand in the world, Malibu. 27 miles of scenic beauty. That is the slogan, and it is true. This is where the dream of California comes alive. But look past the celebrity homes. Look at the land. El Matador Beach. It is wilder than you expect. Giant sea stacks rise out of the wet sand like sculptures. At low tide, you can walk through sea caves carved by the rhythm of the tide. The light here is legendary. Golden hour in Malibu feels different. It is heavier, warmer. I sat on the hood of my car watching the surfers at Zuma Beach. The ocean turns a metallic bronze. It is the cinematic edge of Los Angeles, where the city noise fades into the roar of the surf. Now we go north, to the icon, the Golden Gate Bridge. It is more than a bridge, it is a portal. Spanning the strait where the Pacific Ocean forces its way into the bay, it stands as a testament to human will. They said it couldn't be built. The currents were too strong, the fog too thick. But there it stands. The color is international orange. It was meant to be a primer, but it was the only color that could stand up to the dramatic landscape around it. I stood at the Marin headlands at sunrise. Seeing the towers poke through the blanket of low fog, it looks like a city in the clouds. Walking across it, you feel the vibration of the cars and the immense power of the wind. It is chilly, noisy, and absolutely magnificent. A steel harp played by the wind, welcoming the world to San Francisco. Just an hour north, the world slows down. Napa Valley. This is the land of the good life. California's gold isn't just in the ground, it grows on these vines. The symmetry here is hypnotic. Mile after mile of vineyards, turning from lush green in the summer to burning gold in the autumn. The air is warm and dry. It smells of soil and sweet grapes. I remember driving the Silverado Trail at dusk. The shadows lengthen across the valley floor. It feels like Tuscany, but with a distinctly American spirit. It isn't just about the wine, it is about the pace. Here, you don't rush. You sit, you taste, and you watch the sun dip below the Mayacamas Mountains. It is a place dedicated to the art of living well. Head south to the City of Angels, to the end of the road, Santa Monica. This is where the pavement ends and the Pacific begins. It is the official end of Route 66. For decades, dreamers drove west until they hit this sand. And what a place to stop. The pier is the heartbeat of the coast. It feels timeless. The smell of cotton candy and popcorn mixes with the salty breeze. The solar-powered Ferris wheel spins, a beacon of light against the sunset. I walked under the pier where the massive wooden pilings meet the sand. The contrast is stark, the noisy, joyful carnival above and the rhythmic, quiet ocean below. It is classic California, a place of eternal summer. Rise above the sprawl. Look down on the grid. Griffith Observatory. It sits on Mount Hollywood like a temple to the stars. But here, you don't just look up, you look down. From the terraces, you get the single best view of Los Angeles. The Hollywood sign stands just across the canyon, close enough to feel the ambition it represents. I stood here as the sun dipped below the Pacific. The city transforms. It becomes a glowing ocean of geometry, millions of lights, millions of stories, stretching as far as the eye can see. It is the city of stars in physical form, romantic, vast, and infinitely dreaming. Finally, we head to the border, to the cultural soul of the South, San Diego and Balboa Park. This is not just a park, it is a wonderland. Built for the 1915 Exposition, the architecture here is stunning, Spanish colonial revival style that looks like a dream from the old world. Walking the Prado, you pass museums, theaters, and gardens. The Botanical Building, with its lath structure, reflects perfectly in the lily pond. The vibe here is different from LA. It is slower, softer. I sat by the fountain in the Plaza de Panama. The sun is warm, but the breeze from the harbor cools the air. It is a place of culture and quiet beauty, a perfect ending to a journey down the coast. California is more than a destination. It is a feeling. It is the adrenaline of the cliffs and the silence of the forests. It is the glamour of the screen and the grit of the desert. It is a place where the world seems to push right up to the edge and invites you to jump in. From the granite peaks of the Sierra to the golden sands of the South, the Golden State is waiting for you. If you enjoyed this journey through California, please hit that like button and subscribe for more travel documentaries. Tell me in the comments, which of these wonders is #1 on your bucket list? Until next time, keep exploring.